Good morning, guys. Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Seems to be a trend in Stockholm, Sweden right now that we have very nice and sunny mornings, but then it's rain and thunderstorms later in the day. Like, it's all wet on the grass here. Gotta get your precious sunlight, so I'm still taking a detour through the forest on my way to the gym. Sunlight, guys. Nature's TRT. I mean, pathetic that I have to say it like that to make some people prioritize it, but you should get your sunlight. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna call today's video, but it's based on some input I've been getting for some time, but also some comments I just read here on YouTube. Basically, I want to talk about why I am, or how I am, the way I am, you know? Jack the Stack Giga Chad. Yo guys, Theo here, Uncommon Sense. It's quite obvious that I'm having a great time here with my human experience, right? But it wasn't always like that. How did it become like that? So I get these kinds of comments like, oh man, you're just built differently. And one comment I just read was like, man, you are the truth. I've been seeking something about speaking directly from the soul. And he really got it right, that guy. Because that's what it's all about, guys. You gotta realize, in this life, we're born pure. Well, sometimes our parents are so messed up that we're even born into a fallen state. But that's what they talk about in Christianity, right? How humanity is fallen. So really, we're born pure, then we fall away from God, meaning we pick up all these ideas from the world about who we are, how we're supposed to be, what matters and not, you know. We get programming both a lot from our parents, our closest surrounding, our caregivers, but also just from society's programs, you know, the media, school and such, especially now when we live in such large societies and the social media, you know, that there are certain messages we all know that everyone gets, right? And so the way of becoming, building yourself differently, becoming differently, is to untangle yourself from all this programming so that the authentic you is free to express itself, all right? And so this is what happened to me, started happening when I went through that panic attack phase. You see, guys, you don't have to hit rock bottom that hard like I did in order to change your life. But honestly, us that happened to, we are the lucky ones, because we were forced into doing something that made us discover something, so that we found some secrets down there, deep down at rock bottom. We found some secrets that as we climb up, we can bring them and keep using them. And of course, that's why, since I found that, I've been doing this channel. I've been wanting everyone to get it, like life can really be this way. You can level up, you can feel great, you can have so much more in this life than you currently have. And I know, because for the first 25 years of my life, I had way less, not even, it can't even be compared to what I've gotten these 6 years, right? So, how do you do this then? How do you unprogram yourself? Well, there's going to be a lot of just introspection, of course. Observing yourself, noticing your patterns in life, you know. And it's going to be mostly, of course, related to times when now I'm in this spot again. Now I'm feeling bad like this again, you know. See, what is going on? What are the common denominators here? Well, you are always the common denominator, but my selfie stick broke, so I have to hold this kind of tripod. Shoulder workout again. But, you know, notice what fears, okay? The fears are going to be one of the biggest things about yourself to realize, right? Because fear is the emotion that makes us humans the least of ourselves. You go into pure, just survival, animal instinct, right? So figuring out your fears and facing them, that's going to be key into letting your authentic self express itself. So it's both about untangling yourself from all your insecurities, and then you want to be able to become as secure as possible, right? So these panic attacks that I went through, I didn't understand it at the time, But of course, there were many, many, many different things that led to me just getting a thing like panic attacks. The related was my poor physical health after years of horrible habits with drinking and neglecting sleep, not exercising, and so on, eating crap food. That was part of it. But the fear I was going through at the time was really showing my authentic self to the world, which at that time is just a very weak, a scared person, right? And being rejected for it, abandoned, right? And so many, what I figured out about myself is that I have to come off a certain way. People need to think this about me, because if they don't, they're gonna think I suck and abandon me, basically. And of course, I felt it was so embarrassing to show up in all these situations and just, like normal situations, and just randomly become a freak, super nervous, and maybe, if not just sitting there, all timid, having like pretty much like a psychedelic trip gone wrong going on, but without any external intervention, or just having to leave. But so exposing myself to this situation over and over, seeing that no one really left me, it made me lose a lot of my fear of abandonment, right? So when I came out on the other side of this, not only had I decreased my fear of abandonment, I had gained a lot of confidence and security that I went through something so difficult, but I was able to. In the end, it felt like it would never get better. It felt never ending. When it's so intense for months, it felt like years this was going on, right? But I was here now. I conquered it. So I decreased my fear of abandonment, but I also increased so much just my love and confidence for myself. And so this was the initial part. Just gotta show you guys. It's a very, very beautiful spot, this. But yeah, so what I describe it as, with spiritual awakening, especially for someone hitting rock bottom that hard that I did, literally gotta be in the throat. Yeah, well, the thing is that there's a major shift first, but it's not like you're either unconscious or conscious. No, it's just that a lot happens when you hit rock bottom and climb up like that. But then it's not like you're done. But what I've done, apart from just, of course, working on my physical health, building an impressive physique and just improving my health so I feel better, right? I've actively, because I saw the pattern, I've actively put myself in situations where I'm not comfortable. And that can be literally just like, it's tough to train, I'm not good at it yet. I have to push through the workout. But also really looking for a situation before, because the panic attacks, I had huge stage fright, right? And I always ran from those kind of situations, avoided them. Now it was more like I took every opportunity, because I associated that, I feel nervous, I feel kind of scared, I feel like avoiding this thing means growth is right around the corner. Because when you face fear, there's the litany of fear from Dune. Some of you will have read the book, I'm sure. The movies were terrible when you read the books. But it's like, fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I must face my fear. And it's something about, when I face it, I will peek into its inner eye, blah, 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 blah. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. And the point is that it's a strong reaction in your nervous system, fear. But you aren't your fear. Just that the fear is going to block you, right? And so when you face it and you ride it out, you don't run. Because if you run, now you prove to yourself that this was dangerous, right? But when you face the fear for long enough for it to pass, now you've reached a new level. You've successfully shed one layer of fear, and there's more of the authentic you to express itself there, right? But so I did this, I did say, you're just going outside and recording videos like this. Like now someone passed by. I don't really care about it now, but I would be much more thinking about stuff like that. Do I look weird? Oh, people are good. These random little, like, why do we even care? But we do for some reason, right? I would take it to the next level. I put on a silly hat and go out and record a video. And what more? There's so many things. When I was just doing a waiting job, like serving food, I could tell I'd never really done something like that at a high pace. I felt nervous from it. Great. I'm building my stress resilience, And then doing these things that I talked about that aren't necessarily so much facing your insecurities, but just like cold plunging, right? I remember when I started getting fit and felt good about myself, and I see some guys like they're into doing the cold exposure, going in like ice, yeah, you know, a hole in the ice in the lake and going in. I felt so far from that. But doing this over and over and over, now I'm just a guy that heads to, if I come to that situation, I know there's no hesitation. I've done it so many times, and I know that it's just a waste of energy for me to stand. It's just going to get worse the more I be like, so I just go in, you know. Same with the tough sets. I'm going to hit the leg workout now. Bulgarian split squats on the menu. But when it's time to hit the set, I'll just hit it, you know. So it's both that you shed yourself of your actual insecurities, the things that would make you go into sort of fear mode. Realize too, by the way, that it's not always your insecurities and that it won't always manifest as obviously as you feeling like terrified. It will subconsciously dictate a lot of what you do. But so facing those things, so you rid yourself of them, but then strengthening yourself by facing, like I said, a cold plunge, tough workouts, stuff like this. After a while, like you're so comfortable being you, because you're literally you all the time. You know that whatever happens, I'm fine. I think highly of myself because I prove to myself every day that I'm a very capable person. I'm in great company with myself. I'm the most solid person I know. I'm like the most, some things I've done, I know of no other human being that has done. Understand, when you feel and authentically feel this way about yourself, you're not from a place of narcissism. That's what people gotta understand. A narcissist is really, they think very lowly of themselves. They just might even think they think highly of themselves. But they need to push others down in order to feel good about themselves. While the person that just loves themselves and being themselves, they don't have to push. They want to lift others up because they project the love they have for themselves onto others, right? So it's also that. The last thing I'll say, I can say so many things in a video like this. Like, guys, I wrote the training book recently, and it's 6 years. I started writing it years ago, but I realized, no, I have more to learn. And there are some mindset stuff in there, but all the kinds of stuff I'm talking about here, I'm going to have to go longer before I consider writing a book about, because it's so complex, guys. You have no idea the level of things I think about in the self-development and mindset. Do you understand that every little function and trait of you can be changed, transformed, completely removed or added onto you, you know? So yeah, guys, when you rid yourself of a bunch of insecurities, and you've proven to yourself over and over and over again how just skillful, capable you are. There's very little of these, like, of course, I say you're never done, but that's the last part of it, you know, owning your insecurities. The insecurities you still have or still can have, because like I've talked about, your current state is never permanent. They'll be there, but it's like you are aware of them, you work with them as much as possible, and a lot of the time you don't even have to deal with them. It's just like being you is a great experience, and people can feel that, you know. That's why I get all these questions, and people, they don't quite know what it is they see in me. It's just like, I want that, that's what I'm looking for. Well, I'm telling you, the answer is facing your fears, ridding yourself of as much fears as possible, and gaining, well, strength, what do you want to call it, you know. But it's like, you know, there's a story I've told before, I'll do as the last story here. When it started to get sunny, but it was still quite cold in the water, like 6-7 degrees, and there's a lot of people there, I just come down feeling great. I know I'm jacked, I know I'm tan. I go, there's an outdoor gym there, I go hit a set of pull-ups, a set of dips. I know, it's not why I'm doing it, but I know that everyone is staring at me. I walk by all the people, I go down to the bridge, people are hesitating for you know, going in because it's cold in the water. I just show up there, just dive in, you know, go for a swim 3 minutes in the 6-7 degree water, get up, you know, and I leave. And it's just, I can just feel in the air how everyone is watching me. While I didn't do this to put on a show. That there's so many things I want to say, guys, that because all of us, we like positive attention, of course, but that's a beautiful thing. When you become the Chad, you don't have to go looking for attention. You just know that me just being me and doing what I do will bring me a ton of positive attention. You know, I feel like they're like all the betas. Like no disrespect to these people. It's just the experience, right? That all the little people are hanging out, and then the big guy just shows up. Doesn't really care about the other. Yeah, interact a little with you. I talked to some girls that time. I made them go swim, you know. But generally, the Chad, the alpha, just shows up and does his thing while all the other little people are watching. And yeah, guys, I don't know, guys. It's like this. This is what I want to teach you, though. Ultimately, uncommon sense. It's a way of being. It's a way of being. It's not just getting jacked. That's a very helpful, great part of it. But it's finding this, shedding yourself of as much worldly bull as possible, so that the authentic you is free to express itself. Last tidbit. I know I've said it many times, but we talked a little bit about Christianity, right? The way I see it with the Trinity of Christianity is that, you know, a lot of Christians, what they get wrong, they don't realize that they are part of the Trinity. They think that the Son is just Jesus, but it's you know. So we have the Father, who is perfect, that all-seeing consciousness, the observer from within. Then we have the Son, that's Theo, you know, the little biological vehicle for God, for the Father. So it's both Theo's body, but his personality, every function of the biological human Theo here. And the Holy Spirit, to me, is that, because it's always going to be a unique expression of the divine, right? The Holy Spirit is where you find perfect alignment between the Father and the Son. So the Son operates it's going to be your personality and all of that, but just operating without all these insecurities and stuff, with the strength of the Father, right? The Father and the Son, the golden average. That's when you get the golden, the Holy Spirit. Okay, guys. So now I gotta leave because I gotta train and then I gotta train someone else. But please like and comment. We'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on this. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, guys. Jacked and stacked, mentally, physically, spiritually. Working on ourselves, body, mind, and soul. If you're interested, send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description below. I'll tell you about my different programs. Pick up my book, training book, also linked in the description to support me. You can also become a member of the channel or a Patreon. Leave a little super thanks comment. Very much appreciated, guys. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fast losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. And there is some dogs. That's all.